Hello, welcome to my channel. This is the first time you're here. My name is Humberto Savannah, and this is my YouTube channel. It's a series of videos to help students achieve a higher score in the TOEFL correction course. If you like this type of content, please give it a thumbs up so it can help us with the YouTube algorithm. I invite you to subscribe, and if you think this can be helpful for somebody else, somebody you know, please share it with somebody. Okay, so we're still working with the structure section of the TOEFL test, and we're going to start working with skill number 9. We started working with only one clause sentence, finding the verb, finding the subject. And then we're working with multiple clauses, working with adverb clause connectors, and everything. So we got more sentences with multiple clauses. As we saw in skills 6 through 8, many sentences in English have more than one clause. In skills 9 to 12, we'll see more patterns for connecting the clauses in sentences with multiple clauses. Because these patterns appear frequently in English, and on the TOEFL test, you should be very familiar. So skill number 9, use noun clause connectors correctly. A noun clause is a clause that functions as a noun because the noun clause is a noun. It is used in a sentence as either the object of a verb, an object of a preposition, or the subject of the sentence, So a noun clause is working as a noun, and a noun can be either the object or the subject in a sentence. For example, here, we have I know, subject, verb, when he will arrive. Well, we got the noun clause as the object of the verb. We got he, subject, will arrive, verb. But the whole thing can be substituted with a simple it or a that. I know when he will arrive. I know that. I know. What do you know when he will arrive? Oh, you know that. Okay. For example, I am concerned about when he will arrive, subject, verb. I am concerned about when, subject, he will arrive. Okay. So I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about that. Right, this is the object with the preposition about. It is the object of the verb know. When he will arrive is not important. Once we got he is the subject, will arrive is the verb, is the verb, but the whole noun clause is the subject for is. So we can substitute that with it's not important or that is not important. What are we talking about? When he will arrive. Okay. So in the first example, there are two clauses, I know he will arrive. These two clauses are joined with the connector when. When changes the clause he will arrive into a noun clause that functions as the object of the verb know. In the second example, the two clauses I am concerned and he will arrive are also joined by the connector when. When changes the clause he will arrive into a noun clause that functions as the object of the preposition about. And number 3, the example is more difficult. This example, there are two clauses, but they're a little harder to recognize. He will arrive is one of the clauses, and the connector when changes into a noun clause that functions as the subject of the sentence. The other clause has a noun clause when he will arrive as the subject and is as the verb, right? So when he will arrive is not important, okay? So these noun clauses, like I said, they can be used as either the object or the subject in a sentence. That's what we're trying to say. All right. The following example shows how these sentence patterns could be tested in the structure section of the TOEFL test. Like as usual, right? Look at that and go for the basics. You got was late. That's the verb. So here, we're going to need a connector. Also, we're missing a subject. Here we have another verb, and this will be the subject for the whole thing. So we need a connector and a subject. The driver can be a subject, but we don't have a connector because it can be a connector, but there's no subject. Eliminate there for the same reason. So it should be that he was late caused many problems, right? So best answer would be A. We have a connector and we have a sub. All right, let's look at the explanation. In this example, there are two verbs, was and cause. Each of these verbs needs a subject. Answer B is wrong because the driver is one subject, but two subjects are needed. Answer C and D are incorrect because there and because are not subjects. The best answer is A. Use answer A. The complete sentence would be that he was late caused many problems. In this sentence, he is the subject of the verb was, and the noun clause that he was late is the subject of the verb cause. So that's what we're saying. All right, we can start noun-clause connectors: what, when, where, why, and how, whatever, whenever, whether, if, that. So again, I know what you did. What you did was wrong. Here we got the noun clause as the object of the verb know, and here's the noun clause as the subject for the verb was wrong. Okay, remember the whole noun clause can be substituted with an it or that. I know that. What do you know? I know what you did. What you did was wrong. That was wrong. It was wrong. Okay, so objects and subjects. So it's a noun clause, so you can act like a noun, and a noun can be an object or a subject. So I have to be careful with that. All right. In this exercise, as usual, we're going to underline the subjects once and the verbs twice, circle the connectors, and put boxes around the noun clauses and indicate the sentences are correct or incorrect with the example. When the season starts is determined by the verb, right? So we got the connector here, the subject, connector, subject, verb. You have another verb, the whole noun clause. The whole noun clause is the subject for the verb is. So this is correct. The manual, how the device should be built. The device is the subject, should be built is the verb. How is the connector? The whole thing is the noun clause. We should be the object of something, but because we don't have the verb, this is incorrect, right? We're missing a verb. Okay. So now it's time for you to pause the video and try to answer this exercise. And when you finish, come back and get your answers, right? Pause it now, and I'll see you when you come back. All right, now that you're back, we got the schedule indicated if the teams will be playing in the final game. Okay, so we got subject, verb, connector. The team subject will be playing verb, whole noun clause. All right, this is correct. He subject refused verb to enter the plea, could not be determined by the lawyer. Okay, here we got a couple of problems. First, there is no connector, there's no subject for the verb could not. So we're missing a connector here. Talk about where we subject should go. Verb. Talk is the verb. So notice that we are missing subject. Why the condition of the patient deteriorates so rapidly? Why is the connector? The condition is the subject. Deteriorated is the verb. Whole thing is a noun clause. Right. It is another subject. Was not is a verb. So here the problem is that we have an extra subject. And the whole noun clause should be the subject for was not. Like all of this was not explained. Why the condition of the patient so rapidly, that was not explained. So this it is an extra subject that we, whether or not the new office subject would be built verb, was verb to be determined at the meeting. Okay. So the noun clause here should work as the subject for the verb was. It was to be determined at the meeting whether or not the new office would be built. Okay, that the professor has not yet decided when the paper is due. It's like we have a noun clause here, another clause here, but there's nothing here. So we're missing a verb here. Okay, that the professor has not yet decided when the paper is due is a mystery, will be explained. I don't know, we're missing something here. Okay. The contract will be awarded is the question to be answered at the meeting. So here we're missing the connector, whether if the contract will be awarded is the question to be answered at the meeting. So we're missing a connector here, some sort of connector. He always talked with whomever he pleased and did whatever he wanted. I got the subject, the verb. This is the object of the preposition with. Okay, so I hope this clarifies a little bit more for you, like how do we use these noun clauses. Like say, it can be either the subject or the object in the sentence. So again, if you think this material is useful, give it a thumbs up. Really helps the YouTube algorithm. I invite you to subscribe and to share it with somebody who might benefit from this type of tutorials. So thank you and see you online.